What is the secret to greatness? It's something we all seek. But how many of us are truly ready to find it? Let me start by telling you what it's not. It's not doing nothing. It's not sitting around, waiting for a lottery ticket to come your way. And it's definitely not blaming the world when blaming the world won't change a thing. So, if it's not those things, then what is it? The secret to greatness isn't a quick fix. But in this video, we'll break it down into 5 simple steps that you can follow right at home. And here's the kicker. This secret isn't new. It's not something we discovered in the last few decades. It's been around for over 2,000 years, thanks to the Stoics. The Stoics invented and developed a philosophy so powerful that it turned believers out of everyone, from Roman emperors to slaves. The world may have changed since then, but the psychological truths that drive people to greatness have not. Think about that. The world may look different, but what pushes us to greatness is still the same. So, what exactly is the secret? I'll tell you right now. Our power doesn't lie in controlling the things that happen to us. We can't control the external events, but we can control how we respond to them. And therein lies the key to greatness. You might be thinking, that sounds great, but it won't work for me. I can hear you now. Things never work out for me. My situation is different. Well, let me tell you something. It will work for you if you try. I'm not offering you a magic trick. I'm giving you a plan that will get you there. And here's the outline. You must focus. You must change your thoughts to change your reality. You must work to achieve a flow state in your life. You must act according to your values. You must make the world your arena. But out of all these principles, the first one is the most important: focus. Above everything else, you must learn to focus. Seneca, the great Stoic philosopher, once said, "To be everywhere is to be nowhere." What he meant is this: when we spread our attention too thin, when we try to focus on everything all at once, we end up being effective at nothing. Seneca is warning us that multitasking and constant distraction only prevent deep engagement. This isn't just true in ancient times. It's especially true today. In modern life, our attention jumps from emails to social media, from work tasks to conversations. And in the end, we end up touching the surface of everything without diving deep into anything. True effectiveness comes from being fully present with one task at a time. It's about focusing deeply on one thing and giving it your full attention. A mind that tries to do everything at once ends up being nowhere, not truly engaged with anything. Modern research supports this idea, showing that multitasking reduces cognitive performance and depth of thought. Seneca, in other words, recognized that scattered attention leads to scattered results. You might seem busy, but if your attention is everywhere, you won't achieve anything significant. What really matters in our world is results. The Stoic approach values depth over breadth, because depth is what truly gets results. Cal Newport, a computer science professor, coined the term deep work, describing it as professional activities performed in a state of distraction-free concentration that push your cognitive abilities to their limits. This idea mirrors what the Stoics practiced as mental discipline. Newport's research shows that deep work is highly profitable in today's economy. But the Stoics would argue that it has always been essential for a well-lived life. The evidence against multitasking is piling up. Research from Stanford University shows that heavy multitaskers perform worse on cognitive control tests and struggle more with filtering relevant information. Each time we switch tasks, we pay an attention residue tax. Up to 40% of our productive capacity is lost in those transitions. So, if you manage to stay focused, you can be up to 40% more effective. But how do we reclaim our focus in a world that's designed to fragment it? Here are a few practical techniques to help you do deep work. Morning intention setting. A practice Marcus Aurelius followed religiously. Before you check emails or get distracted by notifications, decide what deserves your deepest attention that day. Create distraction-free environments. Eliminate what Newport calls shallow work triggers. Silence notifications. Close unnecessary tabs. And establish boundaries before you start. Practice mindful transitions. Don't jump from one task to another immediately. Pause for a moment to reset your attention. What Epictetus might call preparing the mind for the work at hand. By preparing yourself this way, you set yourself up for success. True greatness in both work and character emerges from the discipline of focused attention. But focus alone isn't enough. Once you've mastered your attention, you must direct it toward the right thoughts. And that brings us to the second principle, changing your thoughts to change your reality. The Stoics understood that our perceptions shape our experience more profoundly than external circumstances. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." This insight, that we can transform our reality by transforming our thinking, is the foundation of the Stoic philosophy. Stay with me as we explore how this principle can reshape your life and help you achieve greatness. As we've explored, changing our thoughts is the foundation of transforming our reality. Now, let's dive deeper into a powerful practice that brings the Stoic principles to life: cognitive behavioral Stoicism. This is the deliberate practice of regulating your thoughts to improve your life. It's about applying the Stoic wisdom in a practical way to take control of your mindset. And it's simpler than you might think. Whenever you find yourself spiraling into negative thoughts, ask yourself, is this within my control? If the answer is no, then it's time to practice acceptance. Let it go, because there's nothing you can do about it. But if the answer is yes, channel your energy toward constructive action instead of dwelling on the situation. This is a powerful tool to shift your mindset away from rumination and toward positive, proactive behavior. This practice aligns closely with a modern psychological technique called cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT. In essence, CBT focuses on identifying and changing unhelpful thinking patterns and behaviors. Just like Stoicism, the premise of CBT is that our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors are all interconnected. Negative patterns in any of these areas can lead to psychological distress. And if we want to fix ourselves, we need to fix those patterns. CBT helps people develop healthier ways of thinking and behaving. For example, when something bad happens, most people fall into destructive thought patterns. This always happens to me. Everything is ruined. Or, I can't handle this. The Stoics recognize these as false impressions, judgments we add to neutral events. If we're adding them, then we can also choose not to add them. As Epictetus taught, it's not what happens to you, but how you respond to it that matters. Consider how differently your day would unfold if you viewed challenges as opportunities rather than obstacles. This simple shift creates a feedback loop of empowerment. When you reframe negative thoughts, your emotional responses change, your actions become more effective, and your outcomes improve. Modern cognitive behavioral Stoics have rediscovered what the Stoics knew all along. We can question our automatic thoughts and choose more rational interpretations, freeing ourselves from unnecessary suffering and expanding our potential. When we operate at our maximum potential, we tend to enter what's called a flow state. This brings us to our third principle, creating the conditions to achieve flow. The Stoics understood that true productivity comes from deep, purposeful engagement. This ancient wisdom aligns with the psychological concept of flow, coined by psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi. Flow is that optimal state where we're so immersed in a challenging activity that time seems to disappear. Flow represents the perfect balance between skill and challenge. If a task is too difficult, we feel anxiety. If it's too easy, we experience boredom. But when the task stretches our abilities just enough, not too much, but not too little, we enter that sweet spot where our abilities are fully engaged. The Stoics would recognize this as ideal functioning. Seneca's advice to be present where you are mirrors Csikszentmihalyi's research by millennia. Both recognized that divided attention prevents deep engagement, which is necessary for excellence. Modern research has confirmed this ancient insight. Flow states correlate with peak performance in everything from athletics to artistic creation. The Stoic discipline of focusing solely on what's in our control aligns perfectly with a flow prerequisite: clear goals with immediate feedback. By eliminating distractions, we create the perfect environment for flow to emerge. As Epictetus taught, we should approach each task as if it were our last, bringing full attention to the present moment. This Stoic principle of mindful presence is exactly what Csikszentmihalyi observed in people experiencing flow: complete absorption in the activity itself, not the results. To cultivate flow in your life, start by identifying your flow triggers. Those activities where you lose track of time and are completely absorbed in the task at hand. Once you know what they are, structure your environment to encourage these states. Minimize distractions, set clear goals, and give yourself immediate feedback. The more you do this, the easier it will be to tap into that productive, engaged state. By combining these Stoic principles with the modern concept of flow, you can unlock your full potential and experience true productivity and fulfillment. But this is just the beginning. Next, let's dive into how you can align your actions with your values, creating a life that reflects who you truly are and what you truly stand for. As we've seen, the key to unlocking your full potential lies in eliminating distractions and setting clear, focused goals. Now, let's dive deeper into how you can ensure that your energy is directed in the right way. The Stoics knew that meaningful accomplishment doesn't come from scattered effort. It comes from focused mastery. To help you with this, start by practicing the Stoic technique of premeditatio malorum, or the anticipation of challenges. This means preparing yourself mentally for potential obstacles before they even appear. By doing so, you build the mental armor that will help you face those challenges head-on when they do arise. The Stoics understood something fundamental: true satisfaction and accomplishment come when we are fully engaged in meaningful challenges that push us to expand our abilities. In flow theory, we find scientific validation of this ancient idea. When we are in flow, we feel a sense of fulfillment because we are using our skills to their full potential. But then, the question becomes, what should guide these challenges? What direction should our focused energy take? That brings us to our fourth principle: you must act according to your values. The Stoics believed that true greatness arises from how we live our lives. This is the essence of living a values-based life, aligning your actions with your highest principles. No matter the circumstances, what matters most is not the external challenges, but how you navigate through them, how you walk through the fire. As writer Charles Bukowski put it, fortune is fickle, but character is enduring. When you act according to your values, rather than being driven by impulse or external pressures, you create an unshakable foundation. At the heart of Stoic ethics are the four cardinal virtues: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Wisdom is about practical judgment, knowing what to do, when to do it, and why it matters. It means understanding what you can control and what you can't, and directing your energy toward the things you can influence. Wisdom also involves learning from every experience, especially failures, which the Stoics saw as powerful teachers. Courage is facing challenges without being paralyzed by fear. It's not about fearlessness. It's about acting despite fear when your values demand it. As Seneca noted, sometimes even living is an act of courage. This virtue allows you to endure hardship and speak the truth, even when silence would be easier. Justice extends beyond legality. It's about treating others with fairness and respect. Justice is recognizing our shared humanity and the responsibilities we have to one another. Marcus Aurelius emphasized this interconnection when he said, "What benefits the hive benefits the bee." Justice is understanding that your well-being is intertwined with the well-being of others. Temperance is about balanced self-discipline. It's not about indulgence, nor is it about denial. It's about moderation. Temperance means mastering your desires instead of being mastered by them. It creates the space between stimulus and response, where wisdom can breathe and guide your actions. The path to greatness demands more than good intentions. It requires that your actions consistently reflect your values, especially when doing so is difficult. As Epictetus taught, don't explain your philosophy, embody it. This leads us to our fifth and final principle. You must make the world your arena. Making the world your arena means transforming your everyday environment into a space of practice and growth. To succeed, you have to actively engage with the world around you, trying, learning, and evolving. This is the idea behind the do things badly principle. It's about overcoming perfectionism paralysis. So often, we wait for the perfect moment or the perfect conditions to take action. But the key to progress is taking action, even when it's imperfect. Start by giving yourself permission to perform poorly. Write that terrible first draft. Have that awkward conversation. Attempt that imperfect workout. Excellence doesn't come from planning or perfection. It emerges through iteration. As writer Anne Lamott advocates, almost all good writing begins with a shitty first draft. The same goes for everything in life. Don't wait for perfection. Begin, even when it's messy. Through practice and repetition, you'll refine your approach, and you'll improve. With these principles, you're equipped to act according to your values, embrace challenges, and transform your life. But it doesn't stop here. Let's take it further by exploring how you can integrate these Stoic practices into your daily routine, turning them into lasting habits that will guide you toward success. Stay tuned for the next steps. As we've seen, greatness isn't reserved for the lucky few. It's a practical path that anyone can follow. Now, let's dive into how you can make this journey real, starting with a simple, universal principle. You begin badly, then get better. It's a truth that applies to everyone. No one starts off perfect, and that's completely okay. In fact, it's how you progress that matters most. If you're struggling to get started, here's a strategy that can help. Use if-then statements. Instead of saying, I'll exercise more, be specific. When I wake up on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I'll put on my running shoes and jog for 20 minutes. This approach, backed by research from psychologist Peter Gollwitzer, dramatically increases follow-through by linking specific situations to the behaviors you want to create. The more you attach your actions to clear, defined moments, the more likely you are to succeed. But that's not all. If you need more motivation to break through the resistance of starting, consider using the 5-minute rule. Commit to just 5 minutes of the challenging activity. This small, minimal commitment helps bypass psychological resistance, making it easier to begin. Once you start, momentum takes over. What began as 5 minutes often becomes a full session. It's amazing how much you can accomplish when you simply get moving. When you combine these strategies, you'll start to create practical habits that support your goals. Don't limit your practice to just your designated spaces. Make the world your arena. Take every opportunity to practice what you've learned and apply it in your daily life. That's how you start on the path to greatness, by turning each moment into a chance to practice and grow. Earlier in this video, we asked, what's the secret to greatness? Now, you know, it's not some mysterious formula reserved for the fortunate few. It's a practical, proven path that anyone can follow. Let these 5 Stoic principles, focus, thought management, flow, values-based action, and making the world your arena, be your framework for transformation and stepping into greatness. When you master your focus, you gain the ability to direct your attention where it matters most. By changing your thoughts, you can reshape your reality. Through flow, you tap into your highest potential. And by acting according to your values, you build unshakable character. Finally, by making the world your arena, you turn philosophy into action, creating meaningful change in your life and the lives of others. Remember, greatness isn't about perfection, it's about progression. The Stoics understood that we are all works in progress. Every day presents new opportunities to apply these principles, to stumble, learn, and grow stronger throughout the process. As Marcus Aurelius reminded himself each morning, when you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. So, begin today. Start badly if you must. But start. Focus your attention on what truly matters. Challenge your limiting thoughts. Find your flow. Live your values. And make every environment you move through an arena for practicing these timeless principles. The path to greatness is before you. And now it's your turn to take the first step. If you wouldn't mind, drop a comment below about your own experience with these techniques and Stoicism in general. Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear to begin their own journey towards Stoic wisdom. Remember, like Epictetus, you have the power to transform any circumstance into an opportunity for growth, whether it's mastering your focus, changing your thoughts, finding your flow, following your values, or making the world your arena. Every moment is a chance to strengthen your Stoic mindset. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more videos on how to turn life's challenges into fuel for growth. Until next time, keep advancing on the path to greatness, one Stoic technique at a time.